Hi, welcome back to Magnesia with me, Miss Widari. Well, how are you doing today, guys? Are you in a good condition? Well, hopefully all of you are in a good condition today. So as usual, before we talk about our topic today, let's first review about our previous topic. So last meeting, we have talked about question. Okay, there are three types of question: yes or no questions, WH question, and question tag. Last meeting, we talked specifically about yes or no question. Yes or no question is the question that only requires a short answer. So it doesn't need to be long answer. Need short answer. How do we form a yes or no question? Well, yes or no question is formed by making the auxiliary comes first, and then followed by the subject, and then the verb or the complement. For example, if the sentence contains to be in it, kalau kalimatnya mengandung to be di dalamnya, so we switch the to be and then the subject. To be is also an auxiliary, jadi to be juga termasuk auxiliary. Jadi untuk membuatnya sebagai yes or no question, we just switch the position between the to be and the subject. For the example, untuk contohnya, misal kalimatnya they are Indonesian. They are Indonesian. So in that sentence, it has to be. Jadi di kalimat itu ada to be-nya, are. They are Indonesian. To make a yes or no question from that sentence, untuk membuat pertanyaan ya atau tidak dari kalimat tersebut, tinggal ubah posisinya menjadi are they Indonesian? Are they Indonesian? From they are Indonesian into are they Indonesian? Next, what if the auxiliary is not to be, but also a modal verb, or maybe a has or have verb? So now, let's take a look to the example. If the sentence contains auxiliary have, has, do, did, and then also modal, we just switch the modal or the auxiliary with the subject. For example, she has done the housework. She has done the housework. Menjadi, has she done the housework? Has she done the housework? She has done the housework. Dia telah mengerjakan pekerjaan rumahnya. And then the question will be, has she done? Apakah dia sudah menyelesaikan the housework? Okay, and then the next, what if the sentence doesn't contain to be's or auxiliary? Well, that sentence probably is a simple present or simple past tense. So in forming an interrogative in present or past simple, we need to use the auxiliary do, does, or did. We use do or does for simple present. For example is, I like apple. I like apple. So in that sentence, we don't have auxiliary. Jadi di kalimat itu nggak ada auxiliary-nya. I like apple. There's only main verb like. Cuman ada kata kerja utama like. So to make it into interrogative, we use the auxiliary do, because the sentence is in simple present. Karena kalimat itu dalam bentuk simple present. Kita tahu karena verb yang digunakan adalah verb one. So kalimatnya akan menjadi, do I like apple? Do I like apple? I like apples. The question is, do I like apples? Next, what if the sentence is in past tense? Gimana kalau kalimatnya dalam bentuk simple past? For example, I went to the beach. I went to the beach. Aku pergi ke pantai. Well, dari sana kita tahu kalimatnya, it use verb to. Dia menggunakan kata kerja bentuk kedua, went. I went to the beach. So, to make the question from that sentence, untuk membuat pertanyaan dari kalimat itu, we need to use auxiliary did. Kita perlu menggunakan auxiliary did. Menjadi, did I go to the beach? Did I go to the beach? Well, karena sudah menggunakan did, maka kata kerjanya kembali ke bentuk pertama. Did I go to the beach? Apakah aku pergi ke pantai? Well, that is how you form a yes or no question. And then how do we answer to that question? Well, the probability of the answer is maybe yes or no. If it's a yes, and then it will be followed by the subject and then the auxiliary. For example, are you Indonesian? Are you Indonesian? Apakah kamu orang Indonesia? Well, cara menjawabnya jika iya, dia akan menjadi yes, I am. Yes, I am. Jadi auxiliary yang digunakan itu disesuaikan dengan kalimatnya. Are you Indonesian? Yes, I am. Do you like apple? Do you like apple? Yes, I do. Yes, I do. Karena pertanyaannya menggunakan do, maka kemungkinan jawabannya juga harus menggunakan do atau does. Next, if the answer is no, it will be followed by the subject and then auxiliary, and then a not. For example, are you Indonesian? The answer gonna be no, I am not. No, I am not. Are you Indonesian? No, I'm not. How about, do you like apples? Do you like apples? If it's no, the answer will be no, I don't. Atau no, I do not. No, I do not. Okay, again, auxiliary-nya disesuaikan with the question, disesuaikan dengan pertanyaannya. So that is a little review about our previous topic. Jadi itu sedikit review mengenai topik kita kemarin. Now let's talk about the second type of question. Selanjutnya kita masuk ke jenis pertanyaan yang kedua. The before is yes or no question. For today, we're gonna talk about WH question. Okay, so WH question is the opposite of yes or no question. Jadi dia merupakan lawan dari yes or no question. If yes or no question only needs short answer, kalau yes or no question memerlukan jawaban yang sangat singkat, iya atau tidak aja, WH question needs long answer. Jadi biasanya dia akan membutuhkan jawaban yang panjang. Need long answer. Why is it called WH question? Kenapa dia disebut WH question? Well, in WH question, we use question word. Jadi kita menggunakan question word di kalimat tanya WH question. Question word is jadi question word itu ada banyak. Some of them is 5W and 1H. Jadi yang paling banyak digunakan itu adalah 5W, 5W, and 1H, dan juga 1H. Which is what, when, where, why, who, and how. Okay, these 6 are the most common question word. Jadi keenam kata tanya ini merupakan kata tanya yang paling umum. We're gonna discuss about it one by one later. Kita akan ngomongin lebih lanjut tentang mereka satu demi satu nanti. But now, let me explain the general pattern of WH question. Tapi sekarang, Miss mau jelasin pattern umumnya, pola umumnya pertanyaan WH question. So, if in yes or no question, it only requires auxiliary, subject, and then verb. In WH question, it requires question word, followed by auxiliary, subject, and then verb or complement. So this is the pattern for WH question. Jadi ini pola umum dari pertanyaan menggunakan kata tanya. It's basically the same with yes or no question. Jadi polanya sebenarnya mirip banget sama yes or no question, but di depannya kita menggunakan question word. Now let's take a look to the tabel on your screen. Jadi sekarang mari perhatikan tabel di layar kalian. The first one, let's talk about the question word who. Pertama-tama mari kita bicarakan tentang kata tanya who. Well, the question word who is asking for a person. Jadi dia menanyakan orang. Jawabannya biasanya juga berupa orang, bisa nama orang, kedudukan, atau something. For example, untuk contohnya, who is she? Who is she? Who is she? Siapa dia? The answer is she is Nia. She is Nia. Dia Nia. Well, di sentence ini, who is she? Jadi di kalimatnya tidak ada kata kerja, maka auxiliary yang digunakan merupakan auxiliary bentuk to be. Who is she? Siapa dia? Next, if it's asking about the subject of the sentence, jadi kalau dia menanyakan subjek atau pelaku dari suatu aksi, you just put who and then langsung the verbnya without auxiliary. For example, who sits next to you in the class? Who sits next to you in the class? Siapa yang duduk di sampingmu di kelas? The answer is Emma sits next to me. Emma sits next to me. Emma duduk di sampingku. So, the question word who is asking for a person. Jadi kata-katanya who menanyakan orang. In Indonesian, it is siapa. Next question word, we have where. Where. Question word where is asking for a place. Jadi where itu menanyakan tempat. For example, where do you live? Where do you live? Kamu tinggal di mana? Where do you live? So the answer is I live in Makassar. I live in Makassar. Aku tinggal di Makassar. Well, in the sentence it contains of verb. Jadi kalimat tanyanya ada mengandung kata kerja. Live. Maka dari itu auxiliary yang digunakan adalah do. Karena subjeknya juga you. Where do you live? Kamu tinggal di mana? I live in Makassar. Next we have where are you going? Where are you going? Kamu lagi pergi kemana? Where are you going? The answer is I am going to the post office. I am going to the post office. Aku sedang pergi ke post office, kantor pos. Well, di kalimat ini, di kalimat tanyanya, we have where are you going? Karena ada verb ing, going, maka dari itu, we use auxiliary be. Kita gunakan to be, are. Next, we have why. Why. Why means kenapa. Why itu berarti kenapa. So, it is asking for a reason. Jadi, dia menanyakan alasan. Reason. For example, why do you sleep early? Why do you sleep early? Kenapa kamu tidur awal? Why do you sleep early? Well, the answer is because I want to get up early. Because I want to get up early. Karena aku ingin bangun pagi. Well, ketika we find the question why, ketika kita menemukan pertanyaan why, biasanya jawabannya akan selalu diawali because. Why do you sleep early? Because I want to get up early. The next question is, why do you want to learn English? Why do you want to learn English? Kenapa kalian mau belajar bahasa Inggris? The answer is, because I think it's important. Because I think it's important. Karena menurutku itu penting. So why do you want to learn English? Because I think it's important. Remember, question word why is asking for a reason. Maka dari itu jawabannya biasanya akan dimulai dengan because. Next question word, we have when. When. Okay, so when, question word when is asking for a time. Time. Jadi dia menanyakan waktu. Jawabannya bisa berupa hari, tahun, bulan, ataupun jam spesifik. For example, when do you go to school? When do you go to school? Kapan kamu pergi ke sekolah? When do you go to school? The answer is I go to school at 7. I go to school at 7. Aku pergi ke sekolah jam 7. Next example, we have when is your birthday? When is your birthday? Kapan ulang tahunmu? Well, the answer is my birthday is in April. My birthday is in April. Ulang tahunku di bulan April. That's another example of using when. Jadi itu contoh lain penggunaan when. Now let's move to the next question word. How. Okay, question word how is asking about a way or a manner. Jadi question word how itu menanyakan tentang manner, cara, or a way. For example, how do you go to school? How do you go to school? Bagaimana caranya kamu pergi ke sekolah? I go to school by car. I go to school by car. Aku pergi ke sekolah dengan menggunakan mobil. That's the question word how. In Indonesian, it means bagaimana. Next, we have what. Question word what is asking about something. It's usually an object, idea, or an action. Jadi question word what itu biasanya menanyakan sesuatu seperti objek, idea, ide, dan juga action atau tindakan. For example sentence, we have, what do you like to do? What do you like to do? Apa yang suka kamu lakukan? What do you like to do? The answer is, I like watching movies and reading a book. I like watching movies and reading a book. Aku suka nonton TV dan membaca buku. I like watching movies and reading a book. Aku suka menonton movie dan membaca buku. Next one we have, what is your father's job? What is your father's job? Apa pekerjaan ayahmu? Well, the answer is, my father is a teacher. My father is a teacher. Ayahku adalah seorang guru. So, question word what is asking about something like object, idea, or an action. In Indonesian, it means apa. Next, question word. We have question word which. Which. Okay, let's say it with me. Which. So, question word which is used to ask for choices. Jadi question word which ini digunakan untuk menanyakan pilihan, memberikan pilihan. For example, dan biasanya dia diikuti one setelah which-nya, or sometimes it doesn't use one, tapi kadang juga dia tidak menggunakan one. It's up to you. So, which one do you prefer? Which one do you prefer? Kamu lebih suka yang mana? Which one do you prefer? The answer is, I prefer the red one. I prefer the red one. Aku lebih suka yang merah. Which one is your marker? Which one is your marker? The right one or the left one? The left one is my marker. Which one is your marker? Yang mana spidolmu? The left one is my marker. Yang di kiri adalah spidolku. That's how you use which. It's asking for choices. In Indonesian, it means yang mana. Next, we have whose. Whose. Let's say it. Whose. Whose is also asking about person, but in this case, it's more to possession or ownership. Tapi whose digunakan lebih ke kepemilikan. Possession or ownership. And then after whose, dia akan langsung diikuti oleh benda yang pemiliknya ingin diketahui. For example, who is this book? Whose is this book? Sorry, one more time. Whose is this book? Bukunya siapa ini? It's Alan's. It's Alan's. Or sometimes kita bisa bilang, whose book is this? Whose book is this? Buku siapa ini? It's Alan's. Itu bukunya Alan. So, dia lebih sering ketemu noun langsung, whose and then noun, and then to be and determiner. Next one we have whom. Whom. Okay, well, question word whom is asking about the object of the verb. Jadi dia menanyakan objek dari suatu tindakan. Siapa yang terkena aksi? For example, whom did you meet at the school? Whom did you meet at the school? Siapa yang kamu temui di sekolah? I met the teacher. I met the teacher. So, whom is asking about the object of the verb. Jadi mereka, whom itu menanyakan orang, but it's more to siapa yang terkena aksi. Next, we have what kind. What kind, question word, is asking about a description. Jadi what kind, jenis apa, dia menanyakan sebuah deskripsi. For example, what kind, deskripsi or jenis. What kind of music do you like? What kind of music do you like? Musik jenis apa yang kamu suka? The answer is, I like slow song. I like slow song. Aku suka lagu yang slow. Next, kita punya what time. What time. Okay, what time is the question word that we use specifically to ask about the time. Jadi question word what time itu digunakan secara spesifik untuk menanyakan waktu. Di sini konteksnya adalah jam. For example, what time does your class start? What time does your class start? Jam berapa kelasmu mulai? Well, the answer is my class starts at 7:30 a.m. My class starts at 7:30 a.m. Kelasku mulai jam 7.30. Another example, what time is it? What time is it? Jam berapa sekarang? It's 4:50. It's 4:50. Sekarang jam 4.50. Next, we have how many. How many? Well, how many itu adalah question word yang kita gunakan untuk to ask about quantity, untuk menanyakan jumlah. In this case, how many is used to ask about the amount of countable noun. Jadi dia digunakan untuk menanyakan jumlah dari benda-benda yang bisa dihitung. For example, how many students are there? How many students are there? Ada berapa banyak siswa di sana? How many students are there? There are 30 students. There are 30 students. Ada 30 siswa. Next, temennya how many adalah how much. How much. Okay, so how many and how much is similar. Mereka itu mirip. How many is used to ask about the quantity of countable noun. Meanwhile, how much is used to ask for the quantity of uncountable noun. Jadi kalau how many digunakan untuk menanyakan jumlah dari benda yang bisa dihitung, how much itu digunakan untuk menanyakan jumlah dari benda yang tidak bisa dihitung. Well, it is also used to ask about the price. Well, how much juga digunakan untuk menanyakan harga. For example, how much time have we got? How much time have we got? Berapa lama waktu yang kita miliki? So, karena waktu, it is considered as uncountable noun. Jadi, karena waktu itu dianggap sebagai benda yang tidak bisa dihitung, maka dari itu pertanyaannya menggunakan how much, bukan how many. And the answer is 10 minutes. 10 minutes. How much time have we got? 10 minutes. For the example of using how much that asks for the price, jadi untuk contoh penggunaan how much yang nanyain harga, bisa how much is the marker? How much is the marker? Berapa harga spidolnya? Well, it costs 11,000. It costs 11,000. Harganya 11.000. Next, setelah how much, we have how long. How long? It is used to ask about the duration or length of something. Jadi how long dia biasanya digunakan untuk menanyakan durasi ataupun ukuran sesuatu. Ukuran panjang dari sesuatu. For example, how long did you stay in that hotel? How long did you stay in that hotel? Seberapa lama kamu tinggal di hotel itu? The answer is for 2 weeks. For 2 weeks. Okay, untuk 2 minggu. So that is how you use how long. Seberapa lama, seberapa panjang. Next, we have how often. How often? Well, how often is used to ask about the frequency of the action happening. Jadi, how often dia digunakan untuk menanyakan seberapa sering sih sesuatu dilakukan. For example, how often do you go to the mall? How often do you go to the mall? Seberapa sering kamu pergi ke mall? The answer is once a week. Once a week. Sekali seminggu. Next, we have how far. How far? Well, how far ini sedikit mirip dengan how long, but how far is used specifically to ask about distance. Jadi how far dia agak mirip dengan how long, tapi how far digunakan untuk khusus menanyakan distance, jarak. For example, how far is your campus? How far is your campus? Seberapa jauh sih kampusmu biasanya dari sini? It's 3 miles far. It's 3 miles far. 3 miles, jauhnya sekitar 3 miles. Or, it's 3 miles away. It's 3 miles away. Jadi, far-nya bisa diganti dengan away. Next, we have how old. How old? Well, how old is used to ask about the age of someone. Jadi how old itu digunakan untuk menanyakan umur seseorang. For example, how old are you? How old are you? Kamu umur berapa? I'm 20. I'm 20. Aku 20. How old are you? I'm 20. And the last we have how come. How come? How come is used to ask about reason. Jadi dia hampir mirip dengan why. Tapi how come lebih berarti ke kok bisa. Kok bisa. That's how come. For the example, how come I didn't see you at the library? How come I didn't see you at the library? Kok bisa aku nggak melihatmu di perpustakaan? So, kalau kalian mau menanyakan kok bisa, you use how come. But kalau kalian mau tanya kenapa, use why. Well, those are some question words that often occur in the conversation. Jadi itu beberapa kata tanya yang sering digunakan di percakapan. Now, let's take a look to the notes. Sekarang mari kita perhatikan notes-notes yang kita punya. Well, if you ask about the subject of the sentence, ketika kalian menanyakan subjek dari suatu kalimat, simply add the question word at the beginning. Kalian tinggal tambahkan kata tanyanya di awal, seperti ini. For example, untuk contohnya, we have James writes good poems. James write good poems. James menulis puisi yang indah. Untuk menanyakan the subject of the sentence, kalian tinggal tulis who writes good poems. Who writes good poems. Jadi kata kerja yang digunakan adalah kata kerja bentuk S, writes. Next, the second note. If you ask about the predicate of the sentence, jika kalian menanyakan predikat dari suatu kalimat, there are 3 options. Ada 3 opsi yang bisa kalian gunakan. The first, if there is a helping verb. Kalau ada helping verb atau auxiliary di dalam kalimatnya, before the main verb, kalau ada auxiliary before the main verb, add the question word and then invert the subject and the helping verb. Kalian tinggal tambahkan question word, kemudian ubah posisi auxiliary dan juga subjeknya. For example, you can see it on your screen. He can speak Chinese. He can speak Chinese. Dia bisa menggunakan bahasa Cina. Dia bisa berbahasa Cina. He can speak Chinese. So di kalimat ini dia ada auxiliary-nya, which is can. Sebelum main verb speak. So untuk membuat kalimat tanyanya, kita tambahkan question word, and then auxiliary, subject, and then verb. For example, what can he speak? What can he speak? Bahasa apa yang bisa dia gunakan? What can he speak? Next example we have they are living tonight. They are living tonight. Well, di kalimat ini dia juga ada auxiliary berupa to be, yaitu are, kemudian diikuti oleh main verb living. They are living tonight. Mereka akan pergi malam ini. To make it into question, dia akan menjadi where are they living? Where are they living? Kemana mereka akan pergi? So, the question word first, auxiliary, and then followed by subject, and then the verb. Next one, if you ask about the predicate and there is no auxiliary verb, and the verb is to be, simply add the question word and invert the subject and the verb. Jadi kalau kalian menanyakan predikat dari suatu sentence, and then nggak ada auxiliary verbnya tapi ada to be, kalian bisa ubah posisi to be dan juga subjeknya. For example, the movie was interesting. The movie was interesting. Filmnya menarik. So di kalimat ini, the to be-nya tidak berfungsi sebagai auxiliary verb, tapi sebagai kata kerja utama, karena dia tidak diikuti kata kerja lain di belakang to be-nya. Maka dari itu, untuk mengubahnya menjadi kalimat tanya, dia akan jadi, how was the movie? How was the movie? How was the movie? Question word first, and then to be, and then subject, and then the object. Subject or the object. How was the movie? Bagaimana filmnya? And the last one, if there is no auxiliary or helping verb in the predicate and the main verb is not to be, then the auxiliary verb Then the auxiliary do is used. Jadi kalau di kalimat itu tidak mengandung helping verb dan juga main verbnya bukan to be, maka kita gunakan kata kerja bantu do. For example, they go to the movies every Saturday. They go to the movies every Saturday. Mereka pergi ke ke bioskop setiap hari Sabtu. Well, di kalimat ini bisa kalian lihat dia tidak ada auxiliary verb ataupun to be sebagai kata kerja utama. Tapi kita punya kata kerja go as the main verb. Kita punya kata kerja go sebagai kata kerja utamanya. Maka untuk mengubahnya jadi interrogative, dia akan menjadi where do they go every Saturday? Where do they go every Saturday? Kemana mereka pergi setiap hari Sabtu? Next, he wakes up early. He wakes up early. Dia bangun pagi. Well, karena di sini verb yang digunakan adalah verb S, he wakes up, maka dari itu auxiliary yang digunakan bukan do, tapi does. Kalimatnya akan jadi, when does he wake up? When does he wake up? Kapan dia bangun? And the last example we have, they sent a letter. They sent a letter. Mereka mengirimkan surat. The case is the same, kasusnya sama. Di kalimat yang terakhir ini, dia tidak ada helping verb, auxiliary, ataupun to be yang bertindak sebagai kata kerja utama. Tapi ada kata kerja utama sent. Karena send merupakan bentuk kedua atau lampau, maka dari itu kita gunakan auxiliary did, bukan do lagi. They sent a letter. The question word jadi, what did they send? What did they send? Apa yang mereka kirimkan? Well, kata kerjanya akan berubah kembali ke bentuk pertama setelah did digunakan. So that is how you form a WH question. Jadi itu gimana caranya buat pertanyaan menggunakan WH. So WH question is the question that requires long answer. Jadi dia memerlukan jawaban yang panjang. It use the question word like what, when, where, why, who, and how. And then the pattern is the question word comes first, followed by the auxiliary, and then the subject, and then the verb or the complement. So that is all about our meeting today. Thank you so much for joining this live streaming. If you guys have any question, please make sure to take a note. Pastikan kalian udah catat pertanyaan yang kalian punya. And then you can ask it when you have offline class later. That's all from me. Thank you so much and bye!